Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy TJ. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is good and having a great day. Today we're going to be reacting to MeetMattL, a Forex YouTuber who has been consistent now for the past few years, I would say, uploading every other days on that YouTube grind, getting great views. He's got some good thumbnails, great titles. He talks a lot about prop firms, trading, the journey itself. A lot of great actual stuff, you know, not like fake gurus trying to sell signals. This guy puts out a load of information, I would say, that I would recommend to a lot of people. So shout out to this guy. Anyway, the video we're going to be reacting to is how to make 100,000 trading Forex. Now, I am expecting a breakdown of a bunch of things which I think is going to be beneficial for myself and also you guys watching, and I'm gonna have my take on it as well to see if it's cap, if it's BS, if it's a SCAM or not. All jokes aside, this guy's hit 10k subscribers. Make sure to subscribe to him. Let's get him up to 11k. But without further ado, let's jump into the video.
How can you make $100,000 from trading to Forex? Is it even possible? Because many traders don't break down their goals into actionable steps, 99% fail. But in this video, I'm going to give you a 5-step process that's going to best prepare you to hit that 6-figure.
Straight off the back, Matt, I swear on my life, 14 seconds in, my friend. This content is something that I've been trying to make my main channel content like. In terms of, if you actually watch the whole 14 seconds, everyone learns differently. So there's visual learners. There's learners that can just, you know, they can just write it down and they'll understand it. And see what he's doing here. Let's just watch the first 14 seconds again. Just look at all of the screens. So he's talking in the background but showing like lifestyle, gym and all that sort of stuff, and I just think it's a great introduction, mate. So I just wanted to say that.
How can you make $100,000 from trading to Forex? Is it even possible? Because many traders don't break down their goals into actionable steps, 99% fail. But in this video, I'm going to give you a 5-step process that's going to best prepare you to hit that 6-figure.
Yo, was that Matt just then?
Your target. Let's get into it. The first step is obvious, and it is that you need to learn how to trade. Now, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this topic in this video, but these are 2 things that you want to keep in mind if you're at this step or if you are near it. The first relates to your personality. You need to find a trading strategy that fits your personality.
Yes.
Just because there's a strategy that's working for somebody else online or one of your buddies, it does not mean that it's going to work.
TJFX wasn't even on the recommendation list on YouTube. I must be a wash YouTuber. I saw Will's effects there though.
Not mean that it's going to work for you because it might not fit your personality. If they're trading the 15-minute chart and you're an anxious person or you don't have enough time to spend on the 15-minute chart, no matter how great the strategy is, it's not the right one for you. So keep exploring until you find something that best fits your style of trading and your personality. Secondly, for the
just to add on to what he said, you've got a lot of self-development to do when you're trading, because you learn who you are, you learn what your actual problems are with like impulsiveness and all your decision making and all of that sort of stuff. It's a massive learning curve, you know. You got to self-analyze yourself. It can make you kind of go a bit bonkers. But in the end of the day, to improve and become a better human, not only with trading but with self-development in yourself, to be a better person, it all combines into one. And it when I started trading but then started to like self-develop and look at myself, because I was fed up of hitting SLs or like over risking, over leveraging and stuff like that, and obviously the strategy side of sort of things. But yeah, it really put me into a dark place. But then you have to do that self-development in order to then be a better trader, and I guess you learn from your mistakes.
Most part, as traders, we are very impatient. So if you want to speed up your learning process, I encourage you to potentially take a paid course and join a paid community. But there's an important caveat.
TheForexFunder.com, MeetMattL, you need to check them out. #1 price right now, quick withdrawals. Up to 200k funding, up to 300k funding coming soon.
Up to that, and that is that many traders, including myself when I first started, are easily sold into the idea that there are traders out there that are selling a secret to success.
There's Mamba.
Without it, we will not
there
be
he
able
is.
to become traders or profitable traders.
There he is.
not the case. I spent $10,000 on Forex courses thinking that the information that I needed was not available for free online and that they had the secret sauce, but that is never the case. So please do not be fooled by people that are telling
TJFX has the secret sauce though, I'm telling you that for a fact.
You or trying to sell you the idea that their way is the only way. And that's coming from somebody that has his own course, but really I've come to realize that every paid course online is just a regurgitation and a reformulation of free information online.
That is why you're buying into the actual person. So say like you don't buy a course, you just buy a room of them speaking about their training experience, or get them to do live streaming or a mentor live streaming course, something like that, instead of just some BS recorded, boring ass videos. Get them to do it live, you know, like these videos. I'm speaking to you guys live. Everything you do, and if I was to live stream it live of the trades I took, I'll be able to speak about the trades live. So everyone can see it, everyone's learning, we're all using psychology, thought process, it's all into one live. I think that is the next big thing. And they already do it, called like webinars and stuff like that, but live webinars, they need to make a website where you can live stream, but you have to pay to be in the live stream. Obviously, you got Zoom and stuff. I'm just wobbling on this. Listen to me.
Because it's formulated in a way that is likely and hopefully more efficient.
Don't buy courses.
It will help you speed up that learning process. But if you don't have the money to invest in a course, or if you simply don't want to, don't worry, you can do it on your own. The second step in the 5-step process to hitting that six-figure $100,000 target is to just get consistent. This is likely the
Yo, Matt, you're telling me things I did not know right now, brother.
Most difficult stage, and it is therefore the stage that the vast majority of traders just neglect and do their best to skip through. But this is where the foundational elements are laid, and your success therefore depends on it. The question is, what does it even mean to be consistent? Consistency is when you do not let the fluctuations of the market or the fluctuations of your mind dictate and impact the trading decisions that you make, and they do not allow you to deviate from
yo, I said at the start, but this video is so... He's done research, because I'll be looking at other YouTubers as well, and I want to do that. I'm doing this sort of layout right now. This is a bit better than my videos, to be fair, but, like, bro, mad respect so far. 2 minutes 43 minutes in, and yeah, this is quality.
Plan. Now, on face value, you can become consistent overnight. There isn't anybody holding a gun to your head forcing you to do things that are outside of your trading plan. If there is somebody doing that, I recommend you call 911. But because this is not the case for hopefully everybody watching, we mess up our trading and we don't follow our trading plan.
Hey, Chris.
Because of ourselves, because of our lack of discipline. It's so difficult to be consistent because of the world that we live in and the instant gratification. We want that money and we want that success overnight, but trading does not work that way. Nothing in life works that way. And so we need to build up and really prioritize that discipline, because that's what's going to allow us to be consistent. At the end of the day, it all boils down to yourself. Some of us need to burn through some old karma and learn lessons the hard way, and others are able to just flip that switch, David Goggins it,
stay hard,
and from pretty much day one, just focus and execute their trading plan flawlessly. I was not in the latter, I was certainly in the former, but it all comes down to how much discipline you actually have. Regardless of whether it takes you 1 month or 10 years, this is the stage that is most often neglected and skipped, and it is the single reason for why most traders never see success in stage 3. Stage 3 is where things start to get really exciting. Just a handful of years ago, trading Forex was exponentially more difficult because you were forced to grow your own tiny personal account. But that's all changed.
Well, like, that was how Forex was. To be fair, prop firm's been out for like 3-4 years, but it just never was really established. And now they're becoming established. As I said, the forexfunder.com, there will be 50% discount codes. Get them out where you can. But he's going to talk into it. These prop firms are a bit like a gold mine. You know, you can get lucky and get fat withdrawals, but if you're consistent, you're going to be rinsing these people. Like Will's FX, he's taking absolute. He's taking these prop firms like they're robberies. Like
with funding companies today, you can trade
this is the worst one. The worst
of
one.
Capital and make more money than you could possibly dream of.
I'm joking.
But let's not get carried away. Unless you're a trust fund baby, the first step here is to actually take and pass and become a funded trader. The first step is to determine what company you want to go with. I, of course, recommend Lark Funding because I am the owner and I am therefore biased. But the great thing about Lark Funding is that unlike some of the big boys in the game, there is no time limit and there is only one stage that you need to pass. But regardless of what company you go with, you need to prioritize. You first need to figure out and then prioritize certain aspects of funding challenge.
The forexfunder.com is the cheapest Forex funder. And it is called the Forex Funder, so you trade Forex and you get funded. It's the best name. It's the best name.
Going to be most important in helping you pass. Do you actually need that 1 to 100 leverage? I highly doubt it. Maybe you don't mind having 2 stages, but that 30-day time limit with current market conditions might be a little bit tricky. These are questions that you need to ask yourself, but because there's a lot of competition in the funding space, it can now be the difference between you passing and failing. So definitely do a little bit of research and determine for yourself what company is going to help you the best.
I think you should also add, like, this is the real talk about these funded companies and stuff as well, and like the people taking challenges. There's people withdrawing 6 figures from prop firms. Like there's people out there that withdraw 10 grand, 20 grand. You're gonna fail a challenge. Everyone will fail a challenge. If you do not fail a challenge, then you are not human. You are an AI. So you're gonna lose money at some point. So you gotta take the risk, take the plunge, do the challenge, and then try and pass. Like, bro, I failed bear challenges. I failed loads. Matt will probably say the same thing. However, the risk to reward is insane. One of my first times, 30 plus K, withdrawn, bang.
In terms of strategies to help you pass your funding challenge and become a funded trader, I've made several videos on this channel outlining different strategies and techniques and frameworks, but here are 2 things to keep in mind. The first is that you want to have a ruthless filter when it comes to your first trade. When I was taking my FTMO challenges, I was very, very conscious of the fact that the challenge started upon that first trade, and I wanted to start that challenge with momentum and with success. So if you're taking an FTMO challenge, make sure that the trade you are starting your challenge with is the best cream of the crop setup that you can possibly.
Cheers, Matt. Thanks for that. You know, we're not trying to foul on the first trade. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Imagine. For me, that's a daily or weekly setup with at least 3 confluences, hopefully more. Looking back, I don't know if I've taken a challenge where the first trade was a loss because I was so diligent in making sure that that first trade really fit my trading plan. Even if you don't take a time restricted challenge and you go with a non-time restricted challenge like Lark Funding, I highly encourage you to still be ruthless with that filter because the name of the game is momentum. You don't want to be starting on a loss because then you're already playing catch up and it's just not great for your trading psychology. So be ruthless.
The forexfunder.com.
What trade you're going to take to start the challenge. The second strategy and framework to help you pass your challenge relates to risk management. There's 2 ways we can break this down. Both are dependent on what kind of challenge you're taking. If you're taking a time restricted challenge where the drawdown is larger, such as FTMO or my Forex funds, I recommend you use what I have called the 3-3-4.5 risk strategy. What this strategy is on your first 3 trades, you're going to risk 1% and you're going to continue to risk 1% until you grow your account to 3%. Once you're up 3%, you're going to risk a 3%. If that is a loss, you'll be back to break even. If it's a winner though, however, you will be
man, you can't be telling their strategy. 4%. You can't be doing that. 3%. That's suicidal, brother.
Elect to pass the challenge. So on your final trade, you're going to execute that 4.5 in the strategy. You're going to risk 4.5% on that final trade to hopefully get you over the edge and pass. This is necessary on time restricted challenges.
Hey, take you over the edge. It's gonna make you fly off the edge, mate. Fly off into drawdown, brother. Imagine if you risk 3% and it slips like, bro, like past the SL. Like, you could be in for, like, disgusting because technically max drawdown is 5% in a day. So, like, imagine if you're up 3%, the next day you risk 3%, and then you get wiped out like an extra like 1-2%. Like an extra, whatever the SL is, it depends obviously, but like, bro, I wouldn't try that. But obviously for Matt's video, this might be the strategy he uses to pass these accounts. So this is up to him.
30 days, and these companies unfortunately are forcing you to not remain risk managed, but this is a pretty effective way of getting around that. If, however, you are taking a non-time restricted challenge that likely only has one phase, such as LARK funding, my recommendation is to start small and build up momentum and build up that consistency and confidence. So I would recommend you actually start potentially less than 1%, maybe 0.5 to 0.75. Start to build up that account, because again, there's no time limit. So if it takes you 3 months, it takes you 3 months. The more patient you are, the more effective you're going to be, and the less likely you are to make mistakes.
I rate that. If there's no time limit on his prop firm, LARK, I actually rate that, because he's not trying to make people pass fast. He's not trying to make people pass slow. He's just saying, look, hey, if you buy this challenge, it's not going to expire. So that means in 99.9 years' time, I expect to get funded, or I want a full refund, Matt.
Deviate from your trading plan. So on those challenges, start small, build up that consistency and that momentum. Upon passing, we then enter stage 4 of the 5-part framework to help you hit $100,000.
Take a step back.
And that step is actually to take a step back. Once you're funded, you need to reassess your goals and do a little bit of math to help you determine how much money you need to generate in order to hit that 100,000 target. Now, of course, if your goal is $100,000, you need to make $100,000, but having that North Star alone isn't very effective. What we want to do is break this goal down into bite-sized, actionable chunks, because it's going to be much easier and much less overwhelming to help you get there. The first question is, how much are you funded with now that you passed your challenge? If you passed a $50,000 challenge, that's phenomenal, congratulations, but to make $100,000 off of that account is going to be unrealistic and incredibly difficult. You're going to need to make a 200% return in a year. Goldman Sachs will be calling you if you manage to do that. So you want to prioritize larger capital and larger funding over larger returns, because this is going to dramatically reduce the amount of stress that you're putting on yourself and the burden that you're putting.
I think for anyone watching that wants to take these challenges, don't try and get 100k. Do like your job salary, and then whilst you're doing your job, go, okay, this is what I'm making a month for my job. If I can make the exact same and be content in terms of not over trading, if you hit that goal, don't trade anymore. Withdraw the profits and then go again. If you can try, and this goes back to his consistency rule as well, which is a few steps before what he's talking about. If you can do that and, you know, walk away from 2-3 grand a month on a 50k, 100k, 200k account, then you are being a consistent trader. You are not being greedy, because, you know, you could potentially make 100k, but you're going, I know that I need this much money to survive. I need this to be able to survive and have a good time. I need this much money to be able to do everything I want and be comfortable in life. Now, you've got to set them goals, understand the calculations in terms of finance and all them sort of stuffs. And then that becomes with all the self-development of yourself in terms of, okay, I know I'm not going to be greedy. I know I don't need a 200k account, I only need a 100k account, and I only need to risk 0.2% once I'm funded. I only have to make 1-2% a month from this 100k account to make 2,000 extra, which is 24k a year, and then you go from there. You know, obviously, you're just gonna get better as time goes on. You'll probably have better, more greater goals, should we say? However, you must do this. You know, by yourself. Everyone is different in life. You know, we're all different. We all have different bills, different ways to spend our money. So therefore, you've got to take every video with a pinch of salt, but go into account that you've got to utilize the information that Matt's telling us and also myself, and then take action on that.
on yourself as well. To have a $100,000 funded account, you need to make a 100% return in a year to generate that $100,000 withdrawal. And I'm not saying that's impossible, but again, what if you had a $400,000 account? I don't do math in public, but I'm pretty sure that means you only have to generate a 25% return over 12 months, which is quite reasonable, and I'm sure to many of you watching, you think is very manageable. The golden question here is what kind of monthly percentage...
I mean, yo, I make around 5 to 10% a week, so
return can you generate every single month? You need to ask yourself this and look at yourself in the mirror with your answer and see if you truly believe it. When I started trading, I wanted to generate 10%, 15% every single month, but perhaps deep down, I didn't actually feel like that was a consistently achievable goal. Sure, some months were great and I did hit it, but every single month, I don't think that's realistic. So you need to ask yourself this and then work backwards from your funding size to determine how much funding you need in order to hit your financial goals. Remember, $100,000 is only $274 a day. It's nothing.
Matt, come on, brother. There's only 5 training days in a year. We're losing the weekends, bro. There's 52 weeks in a year. We're losing 2 days a week. It's 104 days we lose out of trading. So it's a bit more than $273.
If you have a 100K account, that's 0.274% every single day, which again is nothing. Nobody online is flashing these returns and gloating about, oh, I made 0.274% today, because it's not enticing, it's not exciting. But if you actually multiply that and you compound that over a year, things really do become quite unbelievable. So don't be fooled by these insane $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 days that some Forex traders post. If those are real, that's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to make 30 grand in a day, but for the more average Joe, it's not necessarily accessible.
Like us.
But by breaking it down, $274 a day, it makes it seem like a joke. If you have $200,000 of funding, you cut that 0.274% in half, and I think anybody watching this can consistently do that. Once you have your funded account, you've reassessed your goals, you've taken a step back. Now the only thing to do is, as Nike puts it, just do it. You're gonna have to put the work in. There's gonna be times when it is frustrating and you're not hitting those goals, but these are 3 things to keep in mind when you're at this stage that's gonna help you get through those difficult times, those difficult and maybe slower trading periods, and put you in the best
It's okay to take breaks.
Situation to hit that $100,000 target. The first is the stoic approach, and this approach dramatically changed how I approach trading. We as traders like to focus on the output goals. We like to focus on how many pips have we generated, how much money have we made this month, but the unfortunate reality is that all of these things are outside of our control. We can't control how many setups the market gives us. We can't control how well those setups do arise, but what we can control is our trading plan, our risk management, how well we execute our trading plan and follow our trading rules. Because these things are within our control, if we assess how we can set goals within the framework of what's within our control, then we're actually going to be able to be consistent. You can be the best trader in the world, but if the market doesn't give you enough setups, you might not be able to make 100 pips in a month, but you will always, no matter what, be able to execute proper risk management. So the stoic approach is all about focusing on...
I know people ban on about risk management, but you would not believe the amount of people that just don't risk manage.
On what is within your control and forgetting and letting go the things that aren't within your control. This is going to help you a lot when you experience losses, consecutive losses, and if you get a little bit discouraged and down on yourself, just continue to focus on what is within your control, and as the Stoics say, that is where you'll find strength. This brings us to the second tip, and that is how to deal with losses. I have a bit of an anger issue. I'm not embarrassed to admit it, especially, I'm much better now, but before with trading.
Mate, Matt, if you think you got an anger issue, come speak to me, my friend.
If I had a loss, I would kind of just blow my top. I'd be incredibly frustrated, and part of that was because I was focusing on things that weren't within my control. But I think a framework that helps to deal with losses is to really think of trading as a business. This is the mindset that we should be having from the get-go, but thinking of things like this really does help with losses. When you're running a business, you understand, and it's widely accepted that you're going to have business expenses, which are losses, but it's just part of the game. It's growing pains, and they're a necessity. Those business losses or business expenses when it comes to trading are just your losses, are the trades that...
So are challenge accounts a business expense? Let me know in the comments.
Don't work out. Why beat yourself up if you understand and accept that trading is a business? In business, there are business expenses. So why not just take the same approach with trading? If we accept that they're losses, we can then just try our best to learn from them. So whether that's through journaling your trades, which I think is an effective method, or just sitting down and figuring out why that trade didn't go the way you wanted it to. Sometimes there isn't a reason. It's just the law of averages. But really focusing on your trading as a business, I think will help with those losses. And again, if you learn from the losses, it's not really a loss, it's just a learning opportunity.
Exactly.
The third thing to keep in mind is the importance of patience. In the world that we live in, we are all addicted to instant gratification, but trading does not fit that way of living, nor...
I think it depends how you trade though, Matt. Like, in all honesty, like, if you're... Like, last week I traded 3 times, 1, 2, lost 1. I didn't stress once about trading. Like, I don't stress anymore about my trades. I'm not on the chart 23 hours, 50 minutes a day. I look at the chart here and there, like every other hour. Obviously, I keep up to date with shit, because this is my life. But I feel like, trading's quite a chill job. Like, you could go on holiday. I went to Dubai for 3 weeks. Was meant to go for 2, stayed out there for 3 because I flipped 5,000 into 15k, stayed out there a bit longer, and I was balling out there. I was making insane amounts of profit, live trading, prop firm trading, obviously, just a chill kind of life. So it's definitely, it's an interesting one. It's one of those things where you just got to build a good routine around trading, because obviously if you're sitting on an office chair staring at lines all day, you're gonna get a little bit woohoo.
Or should it? Warren Buffett only made his first million when he was 30 years old, and he made his first billion at 50 years old. We can look at him now and be like, wow, I would love to have just a fraction of his money. But
hey, I'm gonna be a millionaire by the time I'm 30, 1,000,000%.
But nobody really wants to wait as much time as he did. Trading is a game of compounding, it's a game of iterations, and if you don't allow yourself the patience, and if you don't allow yourself to compound not only your knowledge, but your skills and your trading account, you're not going to get where you want to be. I would love to be a millionaire tomorrow. I'd love to be a millionaire yesterday.
You're close, Matt, don't lie.
But we have to focus on the compound game. And if you're not patient, you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot. So when things get tough, and even when things are going well, make sure you remain patient, focus on the compound gains, and you'll be able to look back after a certain period of time, be like, wow, that was slow at the beginning, but things really did take off.
Facts, it does.
All about playing those compound games. So, what did I miss? Over 60% of you watching this channel are not subscribed. If you made it this far, I'm sure you got some kind of value out of it. So please do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow.
Bang!
See you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and until then, peace.
Peace. Make sure to like the content, subscribe. My thoughts on this video, very good video. I mean, he did plug his own course. I guess it is his own channel. He plugged it, not a course as such, but like webinar sort of thing. He plugged his prop firm in this video, which, in the end of the day, is very, very smart. You can't hate someone from that. Very, very, very good video with the editing wise. The conversation was great. Very well structured and planned out. A lot of key points in there that will help many, many people with their journey, their self-development wise. But like he says, and like most of us say in this industry, and it gets boring saying it, but it boils down to a lot, to a few things. Sorry: self-development, trading plan, risk manage, and just keep going. And that's basically all you can do in life. So if you are new to the channel, subscribe. Check out Matt's channel, because obviously he uploads every other day. 10.2k subs. Let's get him to 100k, even though I'm still trying to get to 100k. But yeah, anyway, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Much love, take it easy, and peace.